Problems are illusions, solutions are reality. Problems are those figments of your own imaginary world that cause you to be burdened with unnecessary complications and blockages, because the mind cannot exist in an environment of peace, stillness, serenity, tranquility, and calm. That being said, your burdens are equivalent to the weight of the energy you consciously choose to feed them in the form of your suffering, which is voluntary, your worrying, which is a wasted emotion, your problems, which is nothing but an illusion, your heartbreak, your heartache, despondency, complacency, being melancholy, malaise, comatose, catatonic, emotionally speaking. I mean, it's a culmination of these things. But the most important thing you have to understand is that your burdens shouldn't exist because they're illusions. And they continually keep gaining more and more weight because you're busy feeling sorry for yourself in a downward spiral, feeding these things. Now, whenever somebody hurts you, it's indicative of the fact that you've surrendered your energy to that person and given them the power to do that to you. That should tell you right there as a red flag, I'm taking back my power, so I'm not going to find myself in this position anymore. Secondly, the weight of the burdens that you're carrying is comprised of the energy that you've been feeding them. What you need to do is learn to forgive yourself. You don't have to forgive them if you don't want to. If you want to, that's a beautiful thing. But what you need to do is you need to release the energies that comprise these burdens of what they're made of. Release that energy to the universe to be transmuted and returned to you in a form of a viable high vibrational light healing. This way you can receive exactly what you need to begin rectifying the situation. Also, it's good to let go of these things emotionally, mentally, spiritually, metaphysically, because what will happen is when you pass, you're going to be tethered to this earth because of the fact that you didn't let go of these things. You have to rectify these earthly issues while you are on the earth. Simply because when you pass, it doesn't work the way you think. These issues were created here on earth, so they have to be rectified, repaired or replaced, or addressed, released, healed, and let go while you are still on the earth. Because when you pass, you can't rectify them from there. You just cannot. You'll have to come back again and go through the whole thing again. The process will repeat itself if you fail to do it correctly or you fail to do it right the first time. That's why I say your burdens are equivalent to the weight of the energies you consciously choose to feed these things. That's why they weigh you down with the illusions of burdens and problems and suffering and worrying and all of these things that are unnecessary that the mind feeds off of. Because don't forget, the mind is programmed to do such things. It is triggered to not only have responses to these things, but also initiate them as well. It cannot exist in an atmosphere of love unless it is trained to do so by taking it out of that system and putting it into a completely different environment and allowing it to become acclimated and accustomed to being treated with respect, kindness, and love. Now, I've told quite a few people this, and it did help them when I used to do readings. I used to do quite a lot of readings for people. And one lady in particular, she had not met her father in a long time. And I knew exactly what had happened because when I read people, I read them through their heart, to the soul, to the mind, everything. Because the heart is the gateway of everything. It is the doorway of your everything, even though there's no doors or gates. But what I'm trying to say is, before I end the video, your burdens are comprised of the weight of the energies of your suffering, your worrying, all of that. You're not forgiving, not letting go, not releasing these things, not healing them, not addressing them, not allowing them to come to the surface, forcing them to be internalized and repressed, pretending they don't exist, going along in life with a phony smile, pretending like you don't have anything, that needs to be taken care of, that you're perfectly fine. I have my act together. I'm not a work in progress, that kind of nonsense. So you'll see, the moment you start to begin understanding that only you can chip away at the weight of these things. They won't be resting on your shoulders anymore because they're crushing you. Consider these things like lead bricks pinning your wings to the ground and not allowing you to fly. You have to start forgiving yourself, letting go, healing, addressing, rectifying these things, modifying them, repairing them. If they can't be repaired, replace them. Just stop rehearsing these things in your head over and over again. Now, I'm not saying this is a blanket statement here. Please don't misconstrue that, because if there's a woman that was raped, or somebody just lost a loved one, or especially if a parent lost a child, there's, everybody, the thing I want to make certain before I end this video is that we each process and filter pain in our own separate way, because everybody has occupied the house of pain. There is no single group of people that can claim ownership or proprietary ownership over that house of pain, because we all speak the language of pain. Pain is the object lesson of life, because from pain we are taught to heal ourselves. That's why this is a painful world. So that being said, you process it in your own personal, unique, distinct, individual way, how you choose to process these things. The only suggestion I make is, instead of carrying these burdens and then you get another one, and that weight becomes not only pounds into the hundreds and thousands, then it becomes into the tons, and then you can't even move in life. I'm just saying, release the energy that they are comprised of, meaning you're not, incessantly rehearsing these things in your head anymore, going over them again and again, recycling them, repeating them, looping them. This is a cyclical, looping, negative pattern of insanity that you have to get yourself off that wheel of craziness. You have to say to yourself, I am deserving and worthy of forgiveness for myself. I release myself from these burdens, these experiences, this trauma. And I'm going to do it by just taking the energy that I feed these things and send it to the universe to be transmuted into a viable form of high vibrational light and healing that will be sent back to me, instead of waking up every day and repeating the same thing over and over again, which doesn't do anybody any good. And learn to address and rectify these things honestly, that you have now consciously released yourself from the burden, the prison of illusion that you've been carrying and feeding and animating and nurturing. And this will free you up from being tethered to this astral sphere of innocence when you pass from this astral plane. Meaning, when your soul leaves your body and you did not rectify these things, you're going to be stuck here. You're going to be trapped in the in-between, what they call purgatory, because you didn't rectify these things. Or you're going to have to come back, because the energy was never resolved. It was not allowed to be given a chance to be expressed, transmitted, and to realize its fullest potential in the physical, where it was created. Where these things are created is where they have to be terminated. Where it was born is where it has to be buried, if that makes any sense. You have to bury these things where they are born, and that includes everything. All of the situations of a low vibrational nature, you leave here. You take the lessons with you, but the energy stays here. All of the high vibrational stuff, you take them with you. And you take the energy and the lessons. You take the whole kit and caboodle. It all comes with you. Why? Because they serve a higher purpose. They serve to allow you to move forward. These low vibrational things are not meant for you to carry them. That's why you tether your feelings and emotions to the past, because you keep animating these things and feeding them, and you're carrying around a cadaver. And you're so busy feeling sorry for yourself that you're doing a multitude of things against yourself. First off, you're carrying around a dead body all day long that's ruining your happiness. So now you're blocking your high vibration. You're out of alignment of a high vibrational field, which is preventing you from receiving experiences that match that field of energy, because you're down here. Now you're also wasting all of your energy on giving it to something that should have been released years ago. And you're also blocking your own happiness by staying in that toxic vibrational field of, putrid nothingness, because you're stuck. You're too busy following a pattern. The mind is like, listen, we need something to latch onto so we can start lowering our vibration again, because I can't exist without darkness, negativity, or anger. Oh, there's something. Let's go that way. You see? And off it goes to the past, to somebody who hurt you, latch onto that, and let's carry that for the rest of our life. And then you wonder why your dreams don't come true, because you're not in the present moment to allow that magnificent experience to happen. You can only manifest in the present. Focus and live in the moment. Place your energies where you desire your life to be by living in alignment with the frequency of your dreams and aspirations. You have to focus and live in the moment, not dwelling in the past or obsessing over the future. You cannot be addicted to the promises of tomorrow, and you cannot find yourself addicted to the escapism of the past. You have to understand, you've got to learn to live in the moment, because this is the only place that you can do anything, manifest, create anything. You can't manifest from a point that doesn't exist anymore on this human timeline. And you cannot manifest from a place that has not come by this way yet, even though there is really no past or future. But anyway, just teach yourself in your own way, because I can't tell you how you start releasing these things, the energy that they are comprised of. You don't have to forgive them. Forgive yourself, and that's more than enough. If you want to forgive these people, it's up to you. That's a personal decision. But as I've said before, we each process and filter pain in our own separate, unique, distinct, individual manner. There's no psychobabble self-help book to telling you to just get over it and move on. That's nonsense. And the best thing you should do is stop telling people about your intimate and private things, especially the things that you're hurting about, unless there's somebody seriously close to you that has your best interests at heart. Because if you're telling your things to somebody else that doesn't, they're going to use it against you. And it's energy tethers from a remote external point that will only serve to exacerbate your situation gravely. And it's not going to help you. Like, in other words, if you have somebody, you just got a phone call, your brother's in the hospital, had a car accident. The last thing you want to do is send the energy of worry, because you're going to make that person even sicker. Worry, panic, fear, screaming, losing your mind, all that stuff. You don't want to send that energy, because you're going to make that person sicker, and it's going to be harder for them to heal from that incident or that injury. So it's the same thing here, but in reverse. If you tell people what you're going through emotionally, they're going to use it against you, and they're going to lower your vibration and feed into that cycle, and it's not going to help you any. But you have to explore what this means to you as far as how do you go about doing it, and then you'll discover inside yourself how to create it. And, as you begin to initiate this process, you will get better with it over time, because practice breeds proficiency. Don't look for perfection anywhere, because perfection does not exist. It simply does not exist. That is an imaginary element. That's the truth. But anyway, I wish you the best in your journey. I hope this video helped you in some manner. But remember, you just have to release the energies of what comprises these burdens, of what makes them what they are. Just release the energies of these things to the universe. And then maybe in time you can forgive yourself enough and love yourself enough to say, I don't need this on my shoulder anymore. I'm carrying a dead weight that's only serving to hold me back. I need to move from my past. You have to move past your past before the world around you moves on without you. It's just that simple. Move past, P-A-S-S-E-D, your past, P-A-S-T. Move past your past before the world around you moves on without you. I can't put it any simpler than that. God bless you, my friend.